I want to welcome the GMs and the wives, the godly men and the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women out there. So this was a comment that I was recently asked about in a YouTube video, was how to find the one. And I'm going to give you guys the cold hard truth about the one. It doesn't exist, okay? Boom, whoa, what? There we go. So no, it doesn't exist. The one doesn't really exist. And that doesn't mean that we can't love, and that doesn't mean that we shouldn't find someone to be with that ultimately will help build a family legacy. That's not what this is about. But I also want to discuss a little bit about twin flames, because there's a lot of people in the spiritual world and in spirituality in general that they're stuck on this twin flame phenomenon, and they're stuck on wanting something to be true so much so that they can't really handle the possibility that it's actually a toxic relationship, because almost all of the twin flame phenomenons, relationships that I've seen are toxic. And I used to be somebody that used to think that twin flames were real. I used to think that, you'd have like this one final divine counterpart. It's not really the case. Now, it is possible that you can make the argument that every man is going to have an Eve, because obviously God gave us the women, and you might curse God for that sometimes. It's like she makes me crazy, and yet God, you gave her to us. What you gave her to me? What are we supposed to do with these women out here? But that's not always going to be the case, because there is a lot of good women. There's a lot of healthy, strong women that are capable, that are competent, that want to be mothers, and that want to build a life that they can actually, be glad that they're living. The women that you want are not going to be at the club. The women that you want are not going to be showing off their bodies online. They're not going to be on Instagram. Number one thing to look out for on finding the one, which doesn't really exist, but let's pretend like it does for a second. The number one quality that you want to look out for nowadays is making sure that she's not addicted to any kind of social media, and that she has some semblance and understanding of self-awareness and integrity. If they have these three qualities, that's a sure sign that that's probably a woman that is at least worth talking to, because so many times these women aren't even worth talking to. And that's kind of the sad reality, but it is what it is. Also, holy moly, we got a bunch of rain recently, and man, I love how green everything is, but that's a lot of water. It's a lot of water. We need it though. We always need more water, and thank God for it. But anyway, so the one that you're looking for is actually yourself. You're the lover that you want. If you can learn how to give yourself compassion, you can learn how to give yourself true love, which is unconditional love, to be able to accept yourself unconditionally. That's the only true love that you're looking after. Twin flames, all that stuff, I was stuck on it for, golly, a year and a half, 2 years. It nearly took away a lot of my life, and I kept wanting to believe it. And this was years ago. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago, toward the beginning of my spiritual awakening. And I wanted to believe it so bad. Because if it was true, then that meant that there was somebody out there that was exactly like me, that I could fully relate to. It was a fantasy though. It was a fantasy. And this is not to say that you're going to not meet somebody that is almost a reflection of you, because ultimately all of the universe is a reflection of us. Yourself. The universe is a reflection of you, and you're a reflection of it. All of this life all around us is something that is so beautiful and so alive. But that doesn't mean that we are it and it is us, but we are each a part of the whole. And in that part of the wholeness, we find wholeness. So a lot of the people that are searching for the one, I would say, are childish and immature. Because to fall in love, if you actually know what you're what you're thinking about, and you're not a simp, and you're not like a red pill enthusiast, and you're not really anybody that's super jaded, you just have a realist perspective of life, you understand that falling in love is not really, it's just immature to fall in love. You want to rise in love. You want to rise with the person. You want to be able to build with the person. You don't want to fall into something. You want to be able to ascend into it. And the best relationships that I've had, both romantic and any other kind of relationship really, but I've always been able to ascend with the people that I'm around. And I know that if I cannot do that with these people, if I'm not ascending as I'm communicating or building with these people, I know for a fact that this is not something that God wants for me. And you have to be patient. You have to be willing to be patient. You have to be willing to work through all of the stuff that you've got going on. And you've got to be able to know when you're actually healed and how to heal. Too many times I see people that are not healing from their relationships. And then they're getting into another one. And they're getting into another one. And there's another. And there's another. And it's like people are just like dragging their toxicity and their baggage around to everybody. So now everybody's got all these soul ties and spiritual baggages that they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it because they're so fried in their brains that they can't handle, like they're always looking for the dopamine rush. They're always looking for the high, the spiritual high that they feel when they, oh, it's somebody new, it's somebody exciting. Yeah. So annoying, man. It's so annoying. And so I'm not saying that you need to give up or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. Man, I cannot get over how much water we've got. That's so crazy. I'm not saying that you should give up on love or anything like that. Love is who we are. Love is what we are all about as human beings. To be love is something completely different than to fall in love. And if you're going to do anything about love, you're going to be love. And every person that is actually truly healed on a physical, emotional, and spiritual level completely understands this. They completely understand that to be completely healed, because a lot of the like twin flame stuff and all these soul ties, don't get me wrong, soul ties are real, by the way. I want to make myself very clear with that. You can have soul ties with people, but to have a divine counterpart, I mean, let's even entertain that for a second. Let's say you do have a divine counterpart. Well, now what? What now? Do you really want this? Think about that for a second. Do you really want this? Do you really want somebody that is going to be, you're going to project all of everything that you are onto another person? Really? Like, is that what you really want? Or do you want to be able to be your own person and have the other person be their own person, and then you come together to build and ascend together with your own experience in this life together. Unity is important, but unity and similarities are not the same as being completely in union, as some of the twin flame people would say. It's not the same as being in union, okay? Unity is existing in the relationship. You exist in the relationship. You are not the relationship. The only thing that's going to be the most beneficial for you to understand in regard to relationships is that you as a man, for all the men watching this, your number one priority in your relationship, number one is going to be to God, and that goes for females as well. But for men, it's going to be with yourself. If you can have a good, authentic relationship with yourself, everything around you is going to naturally fall into place. And you're going to attract a whole bunch of different kinds of people. You're going to attract healthier people, but you're also going to attract people that you used to kind of be like, perhaps. That's what's happened not only to myself, but to a lot of the people that I've done consultations with that I've been healing through the last year or so. They've noticed that there's a certain kind of characteristic of people that they've been attracting that they used to be like, but they're not anymore. And I was like, well, I tell them that that's just basically your karma, or your, I don't like saying the word karma necessarily, but it's basically what you've reaped in the past and what you sowed being undone. That's what that is. You might say that it is karma falling off of you, but it's a matter of semantics and really what you mean by all that. But I like to see the whole totality of perspectives out here. I like to see the totality of life. I like to see the totality of being itself as we exist in real time. And the best way that you're going to live your life is to realize that you're not looking for the one. You are the one that you're looking for. And if you can accept that and understand that, you're going to have way better, healthier relationships. Because then you're not putting all of that stress on somebody else and that responsibility on somebody else. You're actually going to be capable of looking at yourself and thinking to yourself, yes, I actually genuinely love myself. I am lovable. I have compassion for myself. And the more that I give myself, the more that I'm able to give other people. And that's been true time and time again throughout my entire spiritual journey, is that, because your relationships, think about this, okay? The people that you're gonna build a family with, let's say, whether you're male or female, you want a husband, you want a wife, you want a mother of your child, father of your child, etc. This is going to be the most important decision of your life, okay? Because if you're not choosing the right person, it's going to f your life up like you wouldn't believe. And I've seen it happen time and time and time again. But if you're fortunate and you have God's grace, you're going to be able to build with the right people. And you're going to be able to do so because you know what it's like to love your own darkness. You know what it's like to love your own shadows. You don't hide anything from yourself. You don't lie to yourself. So that way you don't have to lie to other people. And when you make the decision consciously that, okay, I'm going to tell the truth, man, it's so freeing. It's so refreshing. Kind of like this rain. And kind of like all of the water running down in the river. It's all this new flush of life being nourished. And it's beautiful to see. So with all that being said, guys, there's definitely more to talk about on this topic, but I think for what I wanted to get across in this video, I didn't miss a beat. But I hope you all stay blessed out there. and peace be with you. Till next time.